Hey, you guys, good morning and God bless you. Who am I? I am Garlinda Price. I'm the broker and owner of Fusion Properties LLC, and I'm also the broker and owner of Fusion Insurance Group. And one other business that we have is under that umbrella is Fusion Properties, doing business as Fusion Contracting and Procurement. So we also do government contracting. We just submitted one of our first, what they call a RFP, a request for proposal. So we're super excited about that, hoping that we win. But if not, we're going to keep bidding. But I wanted to tell you why I quit insurance for a little while. I want to give you some of the truths that people do not share about insurance sales and tell you why I am back in life insurance, life and health insurance, what I do love about it. But I want to tell you the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when I got my license, it's been now about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So when I first got started, I was with one company, as many of you know, if you follow me here on YouTube and if you follow, those type videos, I was with one company. We had the first year we were rookie of the year. No, we were rookie of the year for our team. I kept thinking it was rookie of the year mid-year and then rookie of the year end of year. I was rookie of the year for that year, the whole year. And then we had about 64 team members, and we also had done about $109,000 in production. So that year, that first 6 months, I was only in business about 6 months and had done about 48,000 gross and netted $35,000. That's pretty good money, right, for someone that had no experience. But then with that company, what I found is that I didn't feel the connection. I was looking for like team camaraderie, connectedness, right, cohesiveness, and I didn't feel that kinship there at that company. So for a year I didn't sell at all, and then I was like, okay, let me get back into insurance because I really love helping families. I love the whole energy around life insurance, and I didn't yet have my health insurance license. So I got my health insurance license, which meant I could sell accidental. I could sell, because there are some accidental policies you have to have health for. I could sell doctor's plans, like for people that want to go in and get their regular annual checkups. I could sell dental and vision. So I got my health license. And then I began to long for team, right? Because I am a team person. Even though I work a lot by myself, and real estate can be very independent. I have like 10 brokers that work for my firm, but I barely see them, right? Because it's very individualized. So insurance can be the same, right? Depending on where your team is, where your upline is. So got back involved. So now I'm with Family First Life. I have brokerage contracts with different carriers. So now I'm a broker, just like I thought I was a broker at the other company, but come to find out I was captive. Now I'm non-captive. So had a great year selling and recruiting with Family First Life. But what really discouraged me was my brother passed away, right? So then that kind of led me out of the business. But what ended up also happening is when you're in insurance and you're doing videos and you're posting regularly, people will reach out to you to want to join your team. They'll want to partner with you, which is excellent. But here's the downside. So this is caution number one. As you get into insurance, you want to know what you know and what you need to know first to build your business, right? In order for people to follow you, they have to see that you're profitable. They have to see that you're making money in the business, right? Because what ends up happening is you begin to recruit, you begin managing, and your production will fall. But then as you're producing, your management falls. So it's trying to find this healthy balance, which is maybe challenging when you're new to the industry. At least that was my experience. The other thing is what I found is in bringing people on board is I needed to do a better job of vetting people, right? I didn't do a great job of saying, what are your goals? Why are you coming into this business? What do you want to do here? What are you going to do when you get here? And by me not doing that, I would just be bringing on people like warm bodies, right? Because people would say, oh, I saw this video. You can make all this money in insurance. That's another myth I'm gonna tell you about in a second. You can make great money, but there's something tied to that, right? So, and bringing on team members and business partners when they began to write bad business, right? Because you will feel this pressure in insurance. If you're competitive or if you're a little insecure, you'll feel the competitiveness when you see people putting production up. And then you kind of have people saying, well, you need to be producing. Y'all need to be out here writing business. It's true, right? If you're going to be on a team, you're going to be a part of a team, you need to be out here writing business. But that will also cause some people with low self-esteem and or insecurities to write bad business. Bad business could be writing a policy on someone is not going to pay the bill, or writing business on family members and you know they're not going to keep it, and they just run in, they grab the commission, and then they leave. Well, what happens when they run in, get the commission, and leave, and it's within a 10-month period or 11-month period? Then there's chargebacks. So I've had to pay back thousands of dollars in chargebacks for people that came into the business and left because they really weren't serious about being in the business. They saw it as a hustle. This is a long game. Life and health insurance sales, yes, you can make quick money, but it's a long game if you're going to come in and do it as a profession. So I learned that lesson, right? That I needed to be better, and I am going to be better now about vetting my business partners. You can't just come in looking for a hustle, right? I'm not hiring hustlers or people that aren't committed to plugging in, because I stopped plugging in, right? I got discouraged. I got a little disenchanted with the business and having to pay back money. So let's talk about that. So with life insurance, you're going to make great money, right? You can get paid advanced or as earned. With getting advances, that means that the insurance carrier is going to pay you your commission for the year up front, right? At least 70% of it. So by you getting 70% of your money up front for one insurance sale, you could easily get a $2,000 check, right? You could easily get 800, 900, 600, 1,000 is great money, right? So they can pay you either as earned, or they can pay you, they can pay you in advance, which is the money up front for the first 9 months. Then you get the other 3 months monthly after that. Or they can pay you as earned, which every time your client pays their bill, you get paid. Now, that is a slower growth way to make money, but you still make money, right? So what ended up happening was there were a couple of times when I had bills that were due where people canceled their policies, right? I have a client that I had written probably 10 or 12 policies on. And when I wrote those 10 or 12 policies, their payments lapsed. So when their payments lapse, of course, you reach back out to the client and you're like, hey, your payment lapsed. Do you want to, and you don't say it like that. You follow a script, right? And maybe it probably is a bank error. Just wanted to check and see if you got a new card, if something happened with your account, because it says your policy has lapsed. So people may say, oh, what? And they want to keep their insurance. They fix their banking error and everything as well. Or you may get that person that's like, okay, well, I'm having a rough time right now. I'm going to have to go ahead and cancel the policy. And if it's within 10, 11, or 12 months, guess what? You have to pay all that commission back. And then if you don't pay it back, it rolls up to your upline. If it rolls up to the upline and they don't pay it, rolls up to their upline and then becomes a vector, right? So a vector is like a bad credit report in the insurance industry. I've had a vector at least twice, right? Where clients canceled. I was thinking they were going to pay it. They didn't pay it. The insurance carrier's like, hey, you need to go on and pay this bill. So I've had to pay back thousands of dollars. Now I've made money, but that's a part of the business, right? So vector can be part of the business. If you're building and growing a team and people don't pay their bill, and you don't pay it, then it just goes as a bad credit debt. Once you pay it off, the vector is removed, right? Then if you have people that haven't paid their kept up with their insurance policy, you have to pay it back. You just got to pay it back as part of the agreement that you signed, right? But it's the part that's kind of discouraging. Then what's the plus side to it? Because those are the negatives, right? You can build a team and not necessarily vet people like you should, finding out what their true goals are, what their real intentions are, right? Because sometimes people have bad intentions in business and you don't find out until later, right? And so you want to recruit people that you know have good intentions and are really genuinely interested and excited about building a long-term career in insurance. Yes, people are going to come. Yes, they're going to go, but I just need you to know that that's out there, right? The second thing is you need to know that you want to set aside at least 30% of the commissions that you earn so that you can pay money back if people stop paying for their policies, because you're going to have to give that money back. Now, the insurance carrier, there's 2 ways to handle that. Well, there's 3. If you're still writing business, the insurance carrier would just take a portion of your commissions and pay off the bad debt. No big deal, right? If you're not still writing with that company and or you're writing with other carriers at the same time and not as many policies with that one company, right, then what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, you owe this money, and they'll let you set up a payment plan, right? Or if it goes too far and you don't keep up with the payment plan, they're like, you need to pay us all our money, right? And then they terminate your they don't terminate necessarily right away, but they may cancel your contract and you got to reapply. So those are some of the ugly sides of insurance. But what are the good sides? The good sides is everybody needs what you have. Everybody needs insurance, and there's so many different areas you can focus on. And what I have found is I love whole life. I love final expense. So I prefer to write people that are 40 and over. Not that I won't write young people policies term. That was a big part of my business at the first company. But I really love whole life and final expense because people are going to have insurance until the day they die, until age 100, until age 120. I love that there are policies out there for people that have cancer or HIV, heart attack and stroke policies, dental, vision, right? I love that you can sell all that different insurance and really serve your clients at a high level. I have found the group of people that I want to focus on, right? So you don't have to have a niche, but I encourage you to have one at some point. Think about, who are the people that I really want to serve? Who are the people that I really like to help? Are those seniors? Are those accountants? Are those teachers? Are they business owners, right? What category do they fall in? And then, because whatever you can relate to is going to be easier for you in business. And then you want to think about, do I want to do telesales or do I want to do in-person sales? Right. And what I have found from my personality type is I'm a face-to-face, belly-to-belly type girl. Right. So I think that's the other thing. Even though my first company was telesales and I did really great with telesales, when you're in person with someone, you can do, I think it's a 70% better chance of closing, whereas on the phone, it's like a 40 to 50, 30, I'll say 30, lower numbers depending on your experience, 30 to 50% chance of closing depending on your experience. So, and that's fine. That just means if you have a 30% chance of closing, you just have to talk to more people. If I'm in person and I have a 70% chance of closing, I just need to be in person with more people, right? If you're someone that says, I'm not going to knock on the door, I don't want to do door knocking, that's fine. Then you need to go in person and schedule your appointments in person. But find out who you are and how you like to do business. So that's been my experience when I quit and said, okay, I'm done with insurance. Insurance has completely gotten on my nerves. I'm tired of paying back all this money. But I had to also think about the fact that I had made money. I had made decent money, right? I made more than I had to pay back. So that I had to rationalize and put my mind around, okay, Garlinda, that's a business expense. But because I've had all these years in real estate, my mind wasn't ready for the downside to life insurance and health insurance sales. The other thing is you want to think about is the team that you're partnering with or the company that you're partnering with. There are a lot of meetings. And so if you're someone that works a full-time job, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make it to the meetings. You're not going to make it to the trainings if they're live. So you have to be intentional about going back to watch the recordings if they have them. You have to be intentional about plugging in and staying plugged in as best you can, because other than that, you're going to begin to feel like you're an owl out here by yourself, and or you need to find a team that has evening meetings, right? But that's something that you're going to want to know starting out, because the majority of the people that I've hired in my last 3-4 years in insurance have been part-time, and that was where they struggled. That's where I've seen most people struggle. That's a downside to insurance. Is if you work a full-time job, you're going to struggle if you don't tap in, stay plugged in, and have access to training and things like that. It's going to be challenging. Okay. So I want you to think about, you got to have a schedule, but you need to find a team and a company that works around your schedule. And you may say, okay, but when I get off at 5 o'clock or you get off at 6 o'clock, it's too late to call people. It's not. There are people that call others up until about 9 o'clock at night, right, to do business. But guess what? You can sell in other states. So if you get off at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night, it's still only 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's still only 3 o'clock on the West Coast. So you could focus on selling and doing business on the West Coast, right? So you would buy West Coast leads. That means that at 6 o'clock here is 3 o'clock there, or at 9 o'clock here is 6 o'clock there, which means you have another 3 hours you can work up until midnight to make it happen. Right. And there are people that do that. There are people that work on the weekends. Right. So you could be a weekend warrior. I used to write a lot of my business on the weekends. Like this past Friday, I was here in the office. It was about 7 or 8 o'clock. I was working on a policy, right? Because I told my husband and my children, I'm not coming home till I write a policy today. So you got to set goals and be intentional around it. There was one more thing I wanted to share with you too. This is not a free business to get into. So yes, there may be times when you can take a free class. I don't offer that anymore because the company that I work with at Family First Life, I don't have that free link from them anymore. But I do have a link for the class where it's $29 through License Coach, through License Coach, right? So it's $29, but I'm only hiring brokers in these particular states: North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, and Pennsylvania right now. North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Okay. Because those are where my licenses are active. And then we're going to be adding Virginia, Mississippi, and Kentucky, I believe. So Virginia, Mississippi, and Kentucky, maybe New Jersey. So if you're in those states, I want you to reach out to me, but we're going to have an intentional talk about what are your goals? What do you want to do? What are you looking to earn? Are you serious about this business? Because now going forward, now that I know what I know, I'm not going to pay anyone else's insurance bills, right? They're going to pay their own insurance bills, and then we're going to have to talk about how that works, right? Because that's something that I don't want to do anymore. So at first I was like, well, I just won't recruit. That way I won't have the bill, but I'm a builder. I like building. I love building teams. I love doing that stuff. So, but it's not a free business to start. You're going to have your license costs. You're going to have your background check costs. You're going to have your fingerprint costs. You're going to have the cost to get your license with your state. And then if you want to write in other states, you're going to have the cost of doing business in the other states. So you need, coming into the insurance industry, Garlinda's personal opinion, you need about $1,000. You're going to need to buy some leads, right? And the leads can run anywhere from $35 to $50 a lead because you want new leads, you want fresh leads, right? And then if you say, well, Garlinda, I have $1,000, I can get started. You're not giving me the $1,000. I'm just talking about for your licenses in different states, your background checks, your fingerprints, and activating your license. It doesn't cost you to join our company. That $1,000 is for you so that you know you have a little bit of a cushion starting your business. And so if you say, well, you know what, I don't want to buy leads, I've heard horror stories about that, then you need to figure out, and we can talk about it, but what is your business plan going to be then, right? Like I have a physical office, so I can have events at my office. I can invite people into my office. What is your plan? Are you going to go to a space where you can rent during the day, right? And have people come meet you at a conference room. I forget what that's called. Like a shared, like a co-working space? Or are you going to go door to door? Are you going to go business to business? And or are you going to do telesales? Where are you going to get leads? Are you going to set up at vendor events? And are you bold enough to say to a salon owner or a business owner, can I come set up and market and share my business with your clients? Do you know someone that has a previous book of business you can tap into and or you can buy? So you're going to need a business plan around it, but you're going to need money to start. So if you don't have money to start with, please don't believe the hype when these people say you don't need money to start with. That's Garlinda's opinion. I've seen it. I've seen people come in here in the insurance industry and go broke, just like I've seen them come in real estate and go broke because somebody was saying you can come in here with no money. It's not true. There's no business that you can start viably in the country, in the United States, or in the world that I know of that doesn't require money, right? And so because the licenses themselves cost money, okay? So if you're interested and getting your license, or you're looking for a team to partner with, I'd love to talk to you. This is my 34th year in business, and I would say that I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but I love learning with other people. I'm still teaching, meaning I'll teach you what I know, and whatever I don't know, we need to plug in and find out and get it together, right? But let's go get it. God has given us all these incredible opportunities, and my husband, I'm gonna end on this. My husband and I have a what do you call it, a workshop coming up where we're going to be talking to kingdom business owners and marketplace ministers about how to do business in the marketplace. Why has God called us to the marketplace? But God has called us out here and said, I'm opening these doors for you. I'm giving you these opportunities. Let's not sit on these licenses. I had sat on that license. I had to repent. Lord, I sat on that license for a year. Right. Well, not like I wasn't writing business, but I wasn't serious. I wasn't intentional, right? Because real estate was busy. But the blessing is when one thing is down, another one can be up. When another one is up and another one is down, you still have income. And so I encourage you, activate your license, use your license, get your license. Real estate is a whole nother beast and animal, which I don't recommend people coming to right now. If you're trying to make a decision between real estate and insurance, I'm not telling you that because we don't want you in the real estate market. We always want great people. I'm telling you that you can make immediate money by writing policies, and you can get paid daily, weekly, and monthly in insurance, where real estate, you can get paid every 30 days. But if your deal falls through, it's a wrap. You got to start over, and it takes at least 30 days to close a deal. I had a transaction that should have closed last Tuesday. A week before it closed, the deal blew to hell in a handbasket, right? It happens. I hate it when it happens. It gets so frustrating, right? Because your client's disappointed, the seller's disappointed, the seller's broker's disappointed, you're agitated and disappointed. And so that's just business. That's business. And so when people cancel their policies, that's just business. When people decide to not sell anymore, that's just business. When people don't start before they even start, that's business, right? So those are the things that kind of took me out of the business and had me thinking, I don't even want to be bothered with this, right? And then I just had to grow up. I had to say, Garland, to grow up, suck it up, is business. So I look forward to talking to you all. God bless you all. I hope I hope this video has blessed you or helped you in some way. Understanding why there are going to be days when you want to quit, but there are going to be days when you're really thriving and prospering. You're like, oh God, I'm so glad I did this. Okay. So let's go. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, my number is 910-494-7798. 910-494-7798. You can reach out to me right here on YouTube. Let's connect. But again, my older videos showed or shared where we had a free link. We don't have a free link anymore. And I'm really focused on hiring licensed brokers. So once you get your license, yes, let's talk. But if you don't have your license yet, I encourage you, go get your license and then reach out, because I'm only hiring licensed brokers in the state I mentioned, okay? States: North Carolina, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, Tennessee. Okay, God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Did I say Mississippi? And Mississippi. Okay, talk to you soon.